Good morning and welcome to Purpose Driven Finances, where our focus is helping you use your finances to achieve the purpose and plan for your life. And now here's the host of Purpose Driven Finances, Alan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning. This is Alan Molina, your host, Purpose Driven Finances, President of Serwus Capital Management. Hope you're having a great weekend. Those fall temperatures, looking forward to those fall leaves, fires in the fire pit. Oh, what a glorious weekend. Sitting here with my best friend, my best homie, not my bestie. You and I don't have besties, but my guy, Rich Roth. How you doing, man?
Morning.
It's a great day to see you. You know, how are your kids acclimating to college?
Well, the oldest, believe it or not, goes back. He's going back today.
Oh, wow.
So they don't start classes till I believe Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Which is really, really late for a lot of colleges. Them too. So, but yeah, I mean, all's good, man. All's good in the world. Your boys okay?
Yeah, they're enjoying college, and what's interesting is they both want to become professors.
Did you tell them the old adage?
No.
Those who can do, those who can't teach.
Okay, yeah, that's you know,
that's mean. That's mean for all the teachers out there. What do you do? You can't do anything. Yeah. It's just an old adage. That's all.
Yeah, no, my med student, he is very particular about what he wants to do and how he wants to do it, like how many hours he wants to work a day, the length of relationships he has with the people he works with, or things. I mean, like a spreadsheet, like more than I would have done.
Oh, boy.
And he's like, it just fits me. And I love genetics and I love research and I want to just, and so he's reaching out to all these research places around the United States saying, hey, I want to come get my master's. Can I work with you? So it's interesting. And I would love to have, I know some doctors out there listening. Thank you so much. I would love to sit down with you and talk to you about how people get their medical degrees and how they figure out what they're going to do. Because it seems to me, if someone is passionate about the heart, why are they going to no, dude, you stink. We're going to put you over to kidneys. Or, you can't do this. You can't do brain surgery, but we want you to do anesthesia. I don't understand it. You would think that if someone had a passion and a gift cluster, that's where they would go. But interested to find out. I know it's a rabbit trail. But Rich, we're sitting here, exciting times, going into a new series, the next 2 months at least. What's my number? Yeah, there was a firm back in the day who did that. But this is what's your number around so many aspects of financial planning. Realistically, there's not an area of financial planning you don't need a number in. Car insurance. There's basically 3 or 4 numbers you need. One of them is your budget. Some people, you need to go get your number of what your car insurance is going to be according to the car you're going to purchase. A lot of people don't think about that. Should I get a Porsche or should I get a GMC or a Yugo? If your budget can't afford a Porsche, insurance-wise, you shouldn't get a Porsche.
Can I relate something to that?
I would love it.
My kids drove my old Explorer, right? And until it just couldn't go anymore. And so we were in the market for a new, not a new car, but a car for them. Just get them through, whatever. And we know the prices of used cars. So my brother was getting rid of his 2012, I believe, Mercedes GL 550, the big kind of SUV. 12 years old, 150,000 miles. I mean, the Blue Book value is like $5,000 or something, right? Not a lot. The insurance on that is more than my 2020 Nissan Armada, which, and I'm sitting there going, and I'm like, okay, I get it because he's, a 18-year-old kid. But then we put like my wife on it, who's got the best driving record of any of us, and it was still higher.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, how is that the case?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 15-year-old car with 150,000 miles on it. How is it?
Starts with an M.
Well, it starts with an M, but you start looking at replacement parts.
Yep.
And,
Right.
and that's really, where if it's in an accident and they have to replace it or fix it, it's just so expensive.
Yep, they total it. Yep.
So, I mean, that kind of is to your point, because I'm thinking, oh, what a great deal. I mean, a really good car for a really cheap price that's safe and all this stuff, never mind the fact that, my 18-year-old's driving a Mercedes and, and I'm on a Nissan. Like, what the hell? But I'm like, it's old and it's,
Right.
But the insurance, like, wow.
He should have gotten a license plate.
By the car's a Nissan?
No, NIL. That would have been hilarious. Rolling up on campus with that. That would have been so funny.
That would have been funny. Yeah. Thank you, NIL.
Right. And get the heart license plate.
Right.
Virginia's for lovers.
Oh, man.
That would have been funny. But, folks, what we're going to do is before we get into the second half of the show, talking about financial planning and really doing a, what do we call it, a precursor or an introduction to What's My Number. Rich has some great questions he's come up with that he's going to, we're going to go over. But we're going to take about 7 or 8 minutes. And Rich did a great interview in the past couple weeks with a professor from Lynchburg, University of Lynchburg. Is that correct?
Charlie Butcher is the chief technology officer, and I guess since then has added chief AI officer to his title as well. So he is one of the foremost experts in AI, and I know you want to dive into that.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome because, I never tell Rich about the intro we're going to be doing about portfolio management, but you've already done the research, probably more than I have. So what I did is I was contemplating it because MIT, Massachusetts, I cannot pronounce those things, Institute of Technology,
Get hooked on phonics, baby.
Dude, I never did. I got 4 different, schools, and I never got hooked on it, They came out with a report recently in the past couple of weeks, the state of AI in business. And as I was perusing it, it's about 25, 30 pages. A good evening read,
For you.
And so what I thought it would be good is for us to, basically take some highlights, because a lot of people are freaking out about AI, about their job, about their portfolio. And they, I hear from clients, hey, I got NVIDIA at 58 cents or whatever the number is. Excuse me. So what I thought I would do is just hit a couple items. And then, Rich, I want you to talk as much as you want, because, before the show, we were talking about it. And there's things that I didn't know, because I'm really looking at this from an investment perspective,
Right.
Not a practical application. But and what I did also is I did some research on the light bulb and the internet.
On the light bulb?
On the light bulb, because that was
Ben. No, was that Ben Franklin?
Edison.
At
least that's
Ben Franklin was electricity.
Yeah. Because what I was curious is because
picture the kite, right?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, sure. Ben, that's Ben Franklin, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was electricity.
Yeah, like in 1738.
But you need that for a light bulb.
Yeah. My question is, it doesn't matter. I got questions about that. Like, was it a wire coming down? And I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to let that one. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'm curious about that. Really curious about it. Okay. So before we get into AI, let me give you a couple numbers. And Edison's light bulb. He started in 1878 to about 1880. I didn't know this. He had 15 to 20 assistants working for him.
Wow.
Who were basically machinists, experimenters, probably modern day engineers. They averaged about $30 a week for about 2 years. They actually tested over 6,000 plant fibers, hundreds of metals and other materials. Experimental cost about $25,000, and facilities and equipment was about $35,000. Make a long story short, and I didn't know this, but the Edison Electric Company, founded in '78, it raised $300,000 in capital, and it was supported by venture capital. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool. So make a long story short, in today's dollars, they invested about $15 million, and it took 7 to 8 years to be profitable. So then my next one, modern day, is I looked at the internet. I didn't quite realize it, but it started in the 60s, and it's called ARPANET, and it goes all the way through it. But it started to become commercialized in the 1990s and really went global in the 2000s. The estimated amount of money that was spent, cumulative, is about $300 to $320 billion. That's the estimate.
Okay.
It took 25 years for the first profitable commercial venture and 35 years for sustained long-scale profitability.
So you're saying these companies that are investing in AI, right, as far as creating products that others would use, right, not investing in AI to help them grow their own business, right? There's a difference.
There is, but it all applies. You would think that Google is creating it in order to give to others to work on it, but also it should be there to improve their revenue.
Right, but I mean, they're creating the program. Whereas, I mean, let's just say a company like mine or yours,
right?
You know, we're not creating a product. We're using AI to make ourselves more productive, more efficient, you know, all these different things, really to allow our top workers to be able to do more, right, by having AI do the easy stuff.
Yes, theoretically, yeah.
So, I mean, there's a difference, right? I mean, you're talking mainly about Google and Gemini, you know, so they're creating this to make money for themselves. Okay.
And so a few bullet points is the investment, the massive investment so far up through mid-2025. They've invested about 45 billion, which is a good deal amount.
I would say.
Only 5% of AI pilots have actually achieved revenue acceleration. 95% failed to make real profit.
So this is when you say a pilot.
Well, everything is a pilot right now.
Well, okay, but you're talking about AI pilots achieve rapid revenue acceleration. 95% failed to make real profit and loss impact. You're talking about a program like Gemini.
Like Gemini, like ChatGPT.
Right. It's something someone created that's AI to help others.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And what's interesting is there's a contrast between high adoption and limited results. That there's a lot of...
What do you mean by high adoption?
A lot of companies use it.
Okay.
But it's not producing a whole lot. Because you mentioned you had somebody do a spreadsheet.
Right.
Is that really beneficial to your bottom line? And it may have saved 20 minutes.
Right.
But it's not a huge addition to your profit loss.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
You know.
Right.
And like for me, I'll give you an example. A lot of this show, I used AI, to help me do the research and things such as that. Now, if I had have read the books on Edison and the internet, that probably would have taken a lot of hours. A lot of hours.
One would think.
If I had have done the MIT report, for me to consolidate, it probably would have been 2 hours. And so that streamline helped me do other things. But at the same time, did it really impact my profit loss? It's hard to do. And it also says that the big divide is they're stuck in pilot mode, unable to scale AI initiatives into production and measurable outcomes. It's producing stuff, but not to where they can actually measure it Because, back in 2000, a company goes on the internet. Does it really show up that it can actually benefit them having a web address or having the use of internet mail? I would say in 2000, not as many, but now if a company, even James River Media, I'm not picking on you guys because you're not a Motorola or a huge, ginormous company with 70,000 employees, it would really stink if you had to print out and meet about every client rather than email back and forth. Trish, when she's doing my ads or stuff like that, how much of a waste of time would it be? Alan, I need you to come up here and talk about rather than an email. So that's really.
Or I just did it. Come look at it.
Right.
And then you come in, you mark it up, change this, change that. I want to reword this. Then you leave. Then she fixes it. Then you come back.
Exactly. Root causes, integration, expectations, and workflow. What's interesting is failures often stem not from flawed AI models, but poor integration into business processes, unrealistic expectations, and misaligned strategies. I was thinking about the light bulb. Excuse me. Do you really think that Edison thought that we would, have light bulbs in the middle of the daytime like we do as we do in the show? Did they really think that they would have light bulbs on planes or light bulbs on ships or light bulbs on cars, the tail lights, the lights on? They probably didn't think about all of those integrations. And we're at about 12 minutes, so we need to wrap this up. So, folks, the reason I wanted to bring this out to you is simple. If you're scared that you've missed the AI movement or the AI revolution, here is what I'm truly expecting. I'm expecting a bust cycle sometime probably in the next 2 to 3 years. And what will happen is there's going to be a large number of companies that come out that have AI attached to their name, but they're really not that productive.
And you're looking at this right now more as an investment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like
buying stock in companies that say, hey, we've got this AI product.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a bust cycle similar to what happened with the internet. And it's going to cause great companies that have a great value right now are going to go down because they could never integrate it actually making money.
So you mean like the .com era when everybody was like, oh my God, there's this new IPO for this internet company.
Right. Pets.com.
Right.
Whatever it is. And so folks, don't get discouraged. It's okay to own AI now, but realize that there's going to be a bust cycle and it'll be a great time to buy. Folks, we're going to go into a 30-second break and give me a call, 434-316-0246. I'll catch you on the flip side.
It's Brian Kilmeade.
But I got a huge problem if you're going to hold up and burden our system with illegals that came here, obviously illegally, to commit crimes here. That's the accusation. We have our own Americans committing crimes, looking for their day in court. Now we got illegals here wreaking havoc who don't care whether they're caught or not, obviously, because most likely they were committing crimes in their native country.
The Brian Kilmeade Show, weekday mornings from 9 to noon on WLNI. And now, back to Purpose-Driven Finances. Here's Alan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning. Alan Molina again, your host, Purpose-Driven Finances, president of Serwus Capital Management. Next week, when's the home show air? Is it on Fridays?
Moving to Thursdays at noon.
Thursdays at noon?
And then replayed normal time, Saturdays at 9.
Okay. So they're going to be interviewing me about the article that we had in the Home Magazine. First time investing or new to investing. You could be 20 years old or 50 years old and new to investing. So I look forward to that conversation. But Rich, what I wanted to do is have an introduction to what's my number. And you're great at questions, and I so prefer you asking me questions than me just prolificating words out of the dictionary across the air. It's so much more exciting. And I like your questions of put me on the spot.
Okay.
So, folks, what we're doing is the next 2 months at least, we're going to talk about what's your number, and retirement, what's your number, education planning, what's your number, estate planning, what's your number, and get into those things to help you achieve the purpose and plan for your life. So, Rich, it's a primer. It's a what questions you got for me?
As far as what's your number?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, let's go. What's my number? I mean, where do we start? I mean, are there really numbers? Is there really a number that people have, or is that just kind of something that? Because I remember it too from back in the day. I think it was an insurance company.
It was,
and they were talking about annuities or whatever. And hey, what's your number? And it seems a little arbitrary. Is it a real thing?
It's a real thing for an individual.
Okay.
It's not a real thing, across the board, because you and I enjoy sports. You and I should have a party together, watch the game of the Steelers and the Jets together. That's going to be an exciting time. and see if what's his name can make it through a whole game without getting hurt.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. That's why we have 4 quarterbacks.
Yes. You guys in the Browns.
Right.
They have 6, I think.
Hey,
None of them are any good.
No, they have 12, And Deshaun Watson is getting a massage. So that being said, everybody has their own number. But if you and I were to go to a football game and there's 70,000 people, everybody has their own individual number. Mm-hmm. They may be even the same household. A husband and wife, they're going to have individual numbers because the wife has their own individual idea of what retirement looks like. The husband has an idea what retirement looks like, and they have to come together and work together and have a plan. Education planning. My youngest is getting a degree in pastoral studies, I believe. His number is different than my middle child who just got a medical degree and is planning on going to medical college and things such as that, although they're probably thinking of both becoming professors, getting their doctorates. Their numbers, although it seems on paper it's going to be similar, are going to be totally different. So every person has an individual number to whatever the goal is. I dare to say that one of the areas we're going to talk about is budgeting and purchasing of stuff. Your idea of a comfortable couch is different than me. Part of the reason is, what are you, 5'10"? I don't know how tall you are, bro.
Sure, thank you.
I don't know how tall you are.
I'll take that.
Okay, 5'8", 5'10", whatever. But a comfortable couch for a person who's 5'8", 5'10"?
You realize that everybody who knows me right now is just rolling in the floor with laughter.
Dude, I don't know. I don't take a measuring tape. I don't take a measuring tape. I don't go, oh, Rich, you're this. I don't know. I know my wife is 5'2". I'm 6'4" and a half.
My license says 5'5", Alan.
Okay, cool. So you're 5'5".
Yeah,
I wish I had your biceps. That's what I wish I had. But that being said, what ends up happening is if you and I were to go out couch shopping, our wife sent us out, hey, go buy some couches. And you're like, hey, Alan, I heard you're going to get a couch. If we went out to Grand or wherever they sell couches, last ones I bought were at Grand, and we went there, the couches that you would choose would be totally different than the ones I would choose. Mm-hmm. Generally, because I'm a 6'5" guy. You're, what'd you say, 5'5"?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know what you said.
Thank you.
I have no idea what you said.
I'll take that too.
Okay. And our numbers that we have are going to be totally different. And what I have found is if I got a couch that's really, really comfortable for me, guess what ends up happening? It's so much more expensive because the back needs to be higher. It just needs to be bigger. So that being said, even going couch shopping, the numbers are going to be specific and different. What are the questions?
How important is it to know your number?
Have you ever met people that they got emotional about everything in life? And then when it came to money, they couldn't make a decision, or they got so stressed they couldn't sleep, or they worried about it. And I'm not dogging those people. Just certain people are like that. Or they get into a financial situation and they decide to spend money and they just throw numbers out there and do it. And a lot of times, if you just throw numbers out there, unless you are a self-made millionaire and you're spending within your budget, it's going to hurt. What happens when you have a number, it takes the emotion out of it. When you're dating and you're like, or not even dating, you're like, should I ask her out or is he interested in me? And you're like, I don't know. And that as a guy, you're nervous, sweaty palms, your mouth is dry. Is she going to reject me or is she going to say yes? Rich, you're a ladies' man, so I know you never felt this, never experienced this, but I did. And so what ended up happening was that emotional stress never went away until either she said yes or no. Hopefully she said yes, and it was, you didn't have to go eat a quart of ice cream. That being said, what ended up happening is it takes the emotion out of it. So if you know your number of whatever the financial question is, and the nice thing is every financial question has a number. I don't care what it is. Cars, insurance, health insurance, car insurance. I mean, it all has a number. So it makes my life easy. So everybody needs the number. It takes the emotion out of it.
What if you don't have a number right now? How do you start? How do you start the process of figuring out what your number is for whatever financial decision you're looking to make?
I love the question, Rich. You need to find somebody who is good at problem solving and can ask the great questions and you not get offended. Like Rich, I'm going to use you as an example.
Again, taking the emotion out of it.
Take the emotion out of it. If you and I are going to go get a couch and, we're going into a grand for our wives because they're doing a tea party or something and they're going antiquing and we don't want to do that today. So we're going couch shopping. And we decide to split up, and I'm like, Rich, what do you want, bro?
Is that any better?
I don't know, man. Well, at least we have something that's comfortable at our house, And we're sitting there, and Rich is like, I want this, this, and this. It puts into perspective exactly what Rich wants. And same thing with a number. A financial advisor or someone who's a good problem solver can ask great questions. You don't get offended at it, and it just helps to open up exactly what you want and how you want it. And it's critical. And I'll tell you, I'm really good at asking great questions and helping you boil down your desires and needs and getting to a place to where you have a number. So give me a call, 434-316-0246. I want to help you get your number.
Is it safe to assume that the numbers change over time, different circumstances? Right. I mean, because retirement, I can think of an easy example. Someone passes away and you inherit some money. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden, maybe your number doesn't change, but you're that much closer to getting to your number.
It can change, and it usually does. It usually changes to the positive or it changes to the negative. What I mean by that, your great example that you brought up is somebody who inherited X. Well, if you inherit $10,000, it's a whole lot different than if you inherit $100,000 or $1 million. It can dramatically affect your retirement. You don't want that loved one to die. You don't want that loved one to be gone from your life. But you take the resources and use it to help you achieve the purpose and plan for your life. Let me give you an example of a number, real world number. At my house, you ever been to my house?
No.
Well, I need to have you over at my house. Pam, we need to cook them dinner. I built my house for $118 a square foot. I got a new client the other day. He said, Alan, the house would be $250 a square foot. And it's not because my house is anything fancy. It's just that's how prices have gone up. So, folks, give me a call, 434-316-0246. I'm interested in helping you get your number. And stay tuned for the next shows. We're going to talk about getting your number. Hope you have a great and blessed weekend.
Returns for illustrative purpose. This is not a suggestion to buy, sell, or use a platform. Only will a suggestion occur after a meeting to determine goals, risk tolerance, and time horizons. Investments involve risks and no guarantee of future results.